am going to teach simple activities, and that is I watch my friends be able to walk through pregnancy center and they receive free formula, free car seats, free cribs, and free diapers. And that is all I knew that pregnancy centers did at that time. I didn't know that they provided counseling. I didn't know that they provided all sorts of resources, just pre and post abortive resources, pre and postpartum resources. And when I watched my friends go and get formula, and we had hit a national formula shortage, the pregnancy centers were never shy in formula. They always had formula. One of the things that inspires me most about these centers is that they are 100% fully funded by volunteers and donors who are committed to ensuring all sorts of resources for families across the state of Connecticut. This means that all those resources they receive are paid for by those who work hard jobs to make sure that they're not the only ones eating, but that families who are in need are receiving quality resources as well. One of the things that's very important to me is expanding the awareness of what this topic and conversation is. And I think because we have become so jaded by some of what we receive, if I could just ask, everyone in the room, and I hope this is like respectful, but I'm going to be the teacher. If you are under the age of 40, raise your hand. So all of those under the age of 40, we live in sort of like a microcosm of social media that is pumped and paid for by organizations that want us to all do the same things. And I'm hoping that everyone in the room who's eating pizza is not only here to enjoy pizza, right? But to be a part of this epic chain walking outside of the door. And so we live in a space where we get on the TikTok, and so much of what we're fed is misinformation that we are not meeting the needs of young women who really deserve quality, exceptional choices. If we are spaces who believe in choice, then that means that whatever decision a young woman makes, and if she decides what she was like, then she should have the village around her to help not only protect that life, but sustain it. So, I can't leave this podium without shouting out Black Maternal Health Week. This week is Black Maternal Health Week. I have to grab my own talking, sorry.
So what you can do?
And 20 travel. This week is Black Maternal Health Week. And Black Maternal Health Week is a week dedicated and organized by legislators, organizations, and communities to ensure quality birthing processes for women. This means if you want to give birth at a home, you should be able to. If you want to give birth at a birthing center, you should be able to. If you want to give birth in the hospital, you should be able to, having those resources, and not only give birth, but survive birth. 44 Black women die per 100,000 live births. That statistic is harrowing when there are third world countries where women still give birth at ancient traditions and methods like on birthing stones, and they are not only giving birth, but they're coming out stronger after. Examples like Allison Felix and Serena Williams and the passing of Tori Rowley shows us that it doesn't matter how much money you make or the car you drive, these three women are exceptional wealthy athletes. So they were, even if they were predisposed genetically, their bodies lended themselves to performing exceptionally in athletic spaces. And all of these women, one of them died, and two of these women went through such traumatic birthing experiences that Serena Williams told her doctor, like, I need oxygen because something is wrong, and she wasn't believed. And so if I didn't take spaces to say that in these spaces we have to make sure that we're ensuring quality birthing experiences for women, all of these things go hand in hand. I sat in a room with young women between the ages of 18 and about 35, and I tell you, besides the few of them that were like this excited to me, happy aunties, all of the women in that room have calmed down. We all want to be mothers. But fear worked that room when we begin to talk about all the women who are not surviving birth and all the stillbirth statistics that we are experiencing in a country that far surpasses so many other countries. So what are the things that we can do to ensure quality experiences for women? This whole life expansive space is to protect life and making sure that life is protected in the womb and journey with it all the way up to the stream. And I can tell you that I have been able to go into these centers with friends. And I've watched them walk away with jobs. And so we have to make sure that all the things that we're receiving homes, I have to sell out Malta House. Young women who needed homes, who were running from domestic abuse, violence. So we have to make sure that what we receive in this room, we're then going to empower and educate young people and women in communities outside of this room. It starts with us. And if we're passing legislation to say that you cannot advertise the great work that you're doing in pregnancy centers, then we're actually not creating a space that is advancing on choice. Because that would be that if a woman does choose life, she should be able to have the resources to sustain that life. I charge every single person that's growing. Sometimes we get a little jaded or hard-hearted in this building. But when it comes to the topic of life, there's such a righteous indignation I have. And I wanted to say this, and I'm only going to sit down and get out the way. But one of the things that I have seen about this conversation is always the word control. You want to control people. You want to control the decision they take. Every law we pass in this building is about somebody's body. Secondly, I am of the belief, so heavy in our core, that we have to advocate for life, whether that's in the school system, or the prison systems, or even on death row. And I know some of us may not agree on that, right? When it comes to quality air, there's statistics that prove that Black women had a ton that breast cancer was contributed to the air pollution in London, which was vastly different than other cities. And so it's light across the board. So it's actually, for me, it's less about control and more about restoring the sanctity and mindset of life. And the last thing that I want to say is, the reality is when taxpayers are paying for things, we have to hold on. So the feminist movement brought this issue to the government and said, we want to fully fund. We want to be fully funded with these. That was the reality. The feminist movement brought it there. Prior to that, this was not in the hands of government. But it's in the hands of government because 70% of women who seek that decision in Connecticut receive that benefit through Medicaid. When I say benefit, I'm not benefit. Through Medicaid. This tells us that majority of those seeking abortions are doing it out of whack. Not because they want to, but because they feel like they have no other option. So because we're elected up here to make sure that money, that all taxpayer money is being directed in the right place, we have to hold and talk about this issue. It's not necessarily love. So it's less about control, right? And it's more about capital. But humanity tells us it's more about compassion. So I have watched women go to pregnancy centers and make the abortion decision, and I watched them go back for post-abortive counseling. I have watched some women walk in these centers as young as 15 years old and decide to keep their babies. And I have also received calls and emails and texts from young women who saw this choice on their parents' insurance, and their parents had no knowledge. So now, for example, that I'm 21, I want coaching on how to tell my parent that I actually made this decision at 16, and the reason why I'm struggling is because I made that decision with no support.
Yes.
These are the cases of young women that I hear from. So let's be sure to do our due diligence. And we tell men they have no opinion, we relieve them from the conversation of responsibilities. You can just do your duty, get up and go. 60% of all abortions are coerced. What does this tell us? That most women are being coerced by their fathers and their partners and their spiritual leaders. 4 out of every 10 women who seek this choice are active in church.
Wait.
So what does this tell us? That we have not provided communities for women to be empowered to choose life, but rather the decision is done out of desperation and fear. There's no room for judgment in that. None. So I hope that this inspired you and encouraged you, and I hope that we can create spaces of healthy conversations. All of my friends think on this topic, you're all across the spectrum. I have some friends who are this way, some in the middle, some are that way. We have these powerful conversations. And what I think is so powerful about a democracy is that we can all sort of have these different experiences, but they all contribute to like the foundation of what it is to get to it. The complexities of life.
What is it?
Thank you.
Yeah.